Good afternoon from the Circus Sports of the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. In NFL news, it has been reported by Adam Schefter and others that the Seattle Seahawks are likely not going to put the franchise tag on Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker, which would make him available in a couple of weeks when free agency begins. Last night in a top 5 college hoop showdown, number 6 Iowa State held on at home over number 2 Houston, winning 70-67, despite a 22-point outing from Houston's star freshman Kingston Flemings. Tonight, number 1 Michigan heads to West Lafayette to face off against number 7 Purdue in a top 10 matchup with tip-off at 5:30 on Peacock. And tomorrow, Vanderbilt and Tennessee are both back as Tennessee will host Oklahoma in Knoxville at 6 p.m. Central, and Vanderbilt heads to Columbia to take on the Missouri Tigers at 8 p.m. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news and once on your home for the Titans of Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're going to be talking a little bit more about free agency, but we'll also have Coach Mack on at 2:20 p.m. for his weekly Mack Attack, brought to you by Tours Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. And Bleacher Report today put out their list of all-time ranking the top 99 quarterbacks of all time. I don't know why they didn't do 100, but they did the top 99. Well, I don't know why.
Oh, because I was 100.
You were 100?
I don't know that because I would be a little perturbed if I was 100 because some guys just take pride in, you know, their whole life was devoted to, oh, man, I was a football player and I should be in the top 100.
Right.
They should have put 100. Come on, man.
You know who number 99 is?
Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Hey, I have to say something.
Yeah, I told you Tannehill was a pretty good player now.
I loved, the Tannehill that was here, and I loved his grit and playing through injury. I know he threw 3 interceptions, and everybody gets all mad about that.
That didn't define what his career was. Only thing about him that I could say was he wasn't clutch. And when I say clutch, talking about, in the playoffs, some quarterbacks, whether good luck, bad luck, they just underperform in that moment and they don't get a chance to, play better the next go round, or you're pressing because you want it so much. It happens. It's no different than anybody else pressing to want a job or anything else. And so that's what happens in a game sometimes, and it can play against you. And I thought that's what Tannehill was. But, man, he fantastic athlete. I followed his career at A&M, playing wide receiver his freshman year all the way to when he became the starting quarterback. Dude was a fascinating athlete.
Kerry Collins, number 94, former Tennessee Titans.
Another Titan. Well, he was really a giant Carolina Panther, but then, he was a spot player there.
And the Raiders. Don't forget the Raiders as well.
He was at the Raiders.
He was at the Raiders, at the Saints, too, and the Colts.
Oh, he kept playing. How many years he played? 12?
17 total seasons.
Oh, that's when he kept stealing. Yeah, I know you here listening, Kerry Collins, man. Well, I think he's coaching. He was at Franklin High School as the offensive coordinator. I think now he's at another school now. I want to say Page, but I could be wrong.
Steve McNair at 45, so made into the top 50.
There we go. Air McNair.
Moon made it at 21.
Okay.
And we'll go through the top. Matt Stafford, which I thought was an interesting one, is 20.
Troy Aikman,
19. You asked them. I wasn't really.
You was in there?
I was in there, but I didn't pay attention to the list.
He was working on
when you said Stafford, I was like, oh, man, I forgot to even ask about Stafford.
As though you thought of
No. I thought it was an interesting one, but you did bring it up because I wanted to get your thoughts on Matt Stafford. And do you think 20 is a good placement for him?
I think when it's all said and done, he'll be higher than that.
Because, even after this year, he added an MVP to his resume. He's got a Super Bowl ring. I think they're going to be pretty close, at least in the race to try to get another Super Bowl next year. If he walks away as a 2-time Super Bowl champion with that arm talent and an MVP, that's one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Well, yeah, that's what this list is. I don't know if he'll squeak into the top 10. I think that's where you kind of start looking like, oh man, that's when the battle is. Who is the best of all time? There's different tiers for elite players and Hall of Fame players. So yeah, I think he would squeak in there maybe.
Dan Marino at 10, which I think is a little low. I think I'd put some of these other guys below him, but still in the top 10.
Like, who would you put him?
I think I would put Steve Young below him. And Steve Young came in at 9. I would put Drew Brees below him, and he came in at 8.
You know why they're ahead of him, right? You know the answer.
Just yards.
Ring.
No.
Rings.
Ding dong.
Oh, yeah.
Rings, of course.
Rings.
Yeah, that's why.
Ding dong of the week right here, no doubt.
Ross must have told you in your ear. No, just kidding. I mean, it matters, but it shouldn't matter. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, Dan Marino was fascinating, man. I got to play with him, against him, and at the end of his career, man, he probably threw the hardest ball ever known to man. But one thing about him that stood out amongst the rest, I felt like he was vocally like a linebacker playing quarterback. And when I say that is, man, he was yelling at people on his team, his teammates in the huddle to on the field to when he's barking out the calls. I mean, man, it was just way different. He was a leader amongst men, and it was, you better get your you-know-what over there. I was like, whoa.
I mean,
and he threw the ball, like, it was, he probably threw the hardest ball. Brett Favre was up there, but he was different.
Before moving up to Alabama and Tennessee, we lived in Florida. My dad lived in Florida for a while, and I was born in Florida. He grew up but he became a Dolphins fan while in Florida. So I got to see a lot of Dan Marino and stuff, and so I loved me some Dan Marino.
How old were you?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I don't remember when I was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Do you? Right.
Well, I mean, like I was that range because he was a Dolphins fan all the way up from at least when I was born to 2002, 2003 when I was like 16, 15.
His last year's one was it? I don't know. He didn't, because he tore his Achilles and he came back and he was never the same, but his arm talent was so impressive. He still could just arm it. Like he couldn't even run. It was horrible.
Yeah, I guess I got to see probably a little bit of the best of Dan Marino and then a lot of the worst of Dan Marino towards the end.
He was fast. I'm trying to figure out who in the top. Well, we'll wait and see.
Brett Favre's number 7.
Oh, so I played against him too. Yeah.
John Elway, number 6.
Got a sack on him. John Elway, I played my rookie year. First thing comes to mind, they said if he rolls right, he can't throw back to the left. And in the game, he rolled right. And they said you can just run over to the other side, Blaine. And he threw right where I was at. And they didn't have my back that they told me. Yeah. He threw it literally on the other side of the field like it was nothing.
Nothing.
I was like, oh, my gosh. This is, I didn't play against guys like this in the MAC.
Aaron Rodgers, number 5.
Definitely getting it. I didn't get Aaron Rodgers.
Patrick Mahomes, number 4.
Ooh, 4.
4 in the top 5. And now I think Patrick Mahomes is really good, but I mean, hey, listen, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. I mean, that's a lot of accolades, but I don't know if I'm like, it feels like he's getting 4 because you know he's going to end up in 4, if that makes sense, by the end of his career. Do you think that it's a little premature for 4?
It's hard to say. He's accomplished a lot early in his career. If you compare him to the guys that are in the top 3, how long did it take him to achieve those type of number and achievements? So I look at it that way. And I think the people we're going to hear is Peyton Manning, all these great quarterbacks, and he's right there outside of them, and he's done it quicker probably than they did.
That is true.
And
that
so
is true.
I think that's why he's there.
Peyton Manning, number 3.
Yeah.
Joe Montana, number 2. And obviously, I think we all knew where this was going. Tom Brady, number 1. And I really don't have a big issue with the top 3. No. I think that's probably the order to put them in.
I would, if he tore his ACL, but if Mahomes wins, one more, there'll be an argument that he should get closer to number 1.
Yeah.
It'll just be, we'll see how he looks after coming back from an ACL. surgery, and just think how much more he could play compared to those other guys, how long they played. Just think in reality, how many years has he played?
He's been so in reality he started 2018, right? Was his first year actually starting? Is that right?
Is he at 8 or 9 years?
He started 8 years now, but he's been in the league for 9 years.
Because that's what I thought. 8 years. This will be his 8th season, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look it up because we're guessing here. You have a computer, why aren't you?
So
typing?
just imagine if he plays 8 more years. Let's just get into the 16 number. Which is for all those elite guys that were up there too. And if he still continues to accomplish some of those things, maybe at a lesser rate, but and he's going to be an argument that he's up there with number one, even though if he doesn't win the same amount of championships as Tom Brady. I think there will be conversations about him up there with the GOAT.
Yes, so he has been there for 9 years, but he's only been starter for 8 years.
Right, yeah.
And in those 8 years, we're talking about 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros, 2 MVPs, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 Pro Football Writers of America MVPs, 3 Super Bowl championships, Offensive Player of the Year, and a few of those Offensive Player of the Years. So it's a lot to accomplish in those first 8 full seasons of starting.
His first 8. Like, hey, man. You got to know it was going to slow down, not just because of injury, but just because there's just no way he could have kept at the pace. But he may come back a different version of himself. We all see him around, running around, buying time and everything. What if he becomes more of a pocket passer that moves in the pocket and runs less, but has more numbers because he's throwing more? Just don't know. And sometimes the matchup with your head coach or whoever your OC is also a part of that equation.
Because how long is Andy Reid going to be there, right? I mean, at some point, he's going to retire, and who takes over the reins for Andy Reid?
Matt Nagy. Both of us. Who is not even there. Where's he at now?
He's at the Giants.
Giants, with Harbaugh.
He's getting the play calling duties and all that kind of stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a weird staff. It's just such a weird staff. I think it could be successful. It could be an utter disaster, but it's just such a weird staff.
Your favorite guy.
Yeah, Matt Nagy is over there at the New York Giants. But, I guess after talking through it, Patrick Mahomes, number 4, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just a debate. I love those kind of conversations because, it could happen, it could not happen. Nobody knows, but I don't know. Ross, do you have any argument at for or against on Mahomes on the list? At what was he?
Well, don't ask Mr. Aaron Rodgers fanboy over there.
Well, I'm just asking about Mahomes.
Be objective.
Yeah, he will be about Mahomes. It's not his guy.
No, I would put him a few spots lower just because of the longevity thing. I mean, like Brady, Montana, Manning, I think Rodgers, Marino, all these guys. Breeze played for a long time, and Mahomes is on track, obviously, to do it, but has not yet. Yeah. So I think it is a little.
He's run championships in a shorter window than they ever could have.
I know.
But see, that's what makes you think, if he could just win 1 or 2 more. I mean, let's just say he wins 2 MVPs. 2 more. I ain't say Super Bowl championship. Yeah. Just 2 more MVPs. Man, he's going to have a heck of a resume to say, hey, I can stack up with 1 or 2. Like, I'm right there.
Well, this is why Aaron Rodgers came in at number 5.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers.
And that's why he's a little miffed over there.
His greatness will be defined. He only won 1.
Yep.
See? And that's why Peyton Manning and all those guys, Eli, kept playing and wanted to win a championship, and they were only playing for the championship because they know they couldn't defeat 1 or getting more than 1. 2 championships. What does Aaron Rodgers have to prove now? Nothing but that he is now fighting against the greatest of all time. That's what he's fighting against. If he can't get number 2, he'll never be in that conversation. That's what motivates the great ones like that.
Yep.
See, and he can't get there. When he going to come back with the Steelers?
No.
So
I wouldn't put his resume number 1.
In the top 3 because of it.
Yeah, Brady,
unfortunately, his greatness, I mean, man, he was one of the first guys I saw throw the football and his feet weren't on the ground. And I'm talking about all the time. And I'm like, how's he got power?
Yeah.
That's how great his arm talent was. It was pretty impressive. Now, he's not that guy today. He's just a good, solid starting quarterback. But, man, I get it because he won how many MVPs? What?
4 times MVP.
4. Man, Golly. Mahomes hasn't even done that, has he?
Nope, he's at 2, if I'm not mistaken. 2 MVPs, yes.
2 MVPs
And 3 Super Bowl
championships.
MVPs
see?
and 3 Super Bowl
He's
championships.
He's already above him.
Resume. We're talking about just on the field.
There is something in these resumes I do want to ask you about, Blaine, when we come back. So, a stat that they're using, and I'm wondering how important of a stat it is to you as a player.
Being that I'm such a stat guy.
Well, it's not. It's about the type of stats they are. So I'm gonna ask you about this. I'm very interested in your take. We'll talk more about that when we come back, and of course, Titans free agency. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Hey, it's Zach Lyons. If you wear glasses, you already know the struggle. I'm constantly looking for them, waking up blind without them, knocking them off the nightstand, and don't even get me started on vacation. Swimming, forget it. Fogging up, smudges, scratches, my whole day revolves around these things so that I could see. And the truth is, I've been dealing with blurry vision for years. Glasses help, but they're also a hassle. And lately, I've been seriously thinking that there has to be a better way. That's when I started hearing from colleagues here at Cumulus who had vision correction done by Dr. Horn at Vision for Life, and every single one of them said the same thing. They wish they'd done it sooner. So I did my homework, read the reviews, and decided it was time. I'm going to have my vision corrected by Dr. Horn next Thursday, and I'll walk you guys through the experience step by step before, during, and after. If you're tired of dealing with glasses, contacts, or blurry vision, don't keep putting it off. Call Vision for Life at 615-436-2020 or visit visionforlife.com to schedule your consultation. I'll keep you posted, and trust me, I'm excited to finally see clearly. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. So we've been going.
We got 2 Zachs now. Hold
we
up
do.
before
We got
start.
Kroll. We're calling him Kroll.
There's 2 of you. There's 2 of you. So everybody get ready. There's 2 Zachs going on. So if we say Zach, one in training by Ross, and then a Zach that's up here, hosting the show here. So yeah, man. I'm just wondering how you go back and forth and manage and work the computer. You're looking up stuff, being the point. I mean, man, you are a fascinating.
It's a clone.
Talent.
It's a clone. That's the trick.
Yeah, it's a Zach. Say hi, Zach. The other Zach, say hi. Say hello.
Blaine, Zach, what's going on? How we doing?
Doing good. How are you? He's got good radio voice.
Yeah, there we
you
go. I like it. We got to get you practice there. There we go. There you go. Good job, Zach.
Okay, so before the break, I talked about a stat, or at least it's kind of like a set of stats.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get your take on this because I do think that they are stats worth mentioning, but I don't know if they're stats that really signal greatness, I guess. So they list the stats of each quarterback when they list them and all this kind of stuff. And one of the set of stats they use, 4th quarter comebacks and game-winning drives. Now, I feel these are important, right? They're an important stat, but also that number could be low because you may be out ahead a lot, right? I mean, like you may not have a lot of those.
You might have a lot of opportunities.
So, like, it feels like there needs to be like a rate for those. Like, how many chances did you have at game-winning drives?
Yeah,
percentage.
Oh, okay, I like it. Okay.
But what I did want to point out, because we were talking about Patrick Mahomes being ahead of Rodgers. Rodgers been in the NFL for 21 seasons.
Dang, wow.
Okay, first off, that feels like it just doesn't really make sense in my head for a little bit.
There, man.
He's had 25 fourth quarter comebacks and 37 game-winning drives. Okay, so 25 fourth quarters, 37 game-winning drives.
We don't know
Patrick
how many
Mahomes has had 9 seasons, technically only been playing full-time for 8, has had 20 fourth quarter comebacks and 24 game-winning drives.
Dang.
So he's only 13 game-winning drives away and 5 fourth quarter comebacks away from Aaron Rodgers, who's played, again, to your point, he's doing everything faster than everybody else.
Yeah, that may slow down, but I think he could potentially usurp Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I believe that. And as he may not get to champion like 6, he may get to 5, or I don't know, maybe one more.
Has there ever been a Super Bowl victory for Patrick Mahomes where you're like, well, the defense really carried him that year?
Maybe in a regular season, but no, not.
Because, Tom Brady, there is that early year where you're kind of like, well, the defense, he didn't have to do as much.
Uh-huh.
So I just kind of wonder how much that plays into it. You asked me, was there a guy that I disagreed with being in the top 20? Yeah. And so I went back through and looked at the top 20, and Terry Bradshaw at 15 kind of stuck out like a sore thumb for me. Yeah. Because he has a 51.9 completion percentage.
51?
51.9.
Oh, I thought you said 58.
No, 51.9.
Oh, my God, 51?
And he had 210 interceptions. Because there's a guy that's in this list that's down in the 40s, Ken Anderson, who you brought up as a guy that was a dude back in the day, but he doesn't get the recognition that Terry Bradshaw does because Terry Bradshaw has the championships. So again, it's almost like you're saying that championships are a quarterback stat. Mm-hmm. And we know that we don't necessarily agree with that as a catch-all because it's a team sport. Mm-hmm. But where are your thoughts on Terry Bradshaw being in the top 15 at 15?
That's a tough one because it's all based off of yards and everything. But that shows you that championships outweigh and usurp everything. And I really didn't notice on the Ken Anderson. Someone who covers the Bengals called me over the weekend and said, look at Ken Anderson's stats compared to Terry Bradshaw. And I said, but Terry Bradshaw, he had Stalwart, Swan, Franco. I mean, man, he had a great defense. And he said, yeah, exactly. But go look at his numbers compared to Ken Anderson. I never saw Ken Anderson play. So I'm not going to sit there and act like maybe I saw him when I was young. And, I remember Collinsworth out there who now is calling the games and things of that nature. So I said, oh, man, I have no idea. And then I just look at the numbers and I go, oh, well, dang, Ken Anderson is, in my mind, statistically, way better with, no championship. Did Ken Anderson even go to a Super Bowl? I don't know if he even went to one, but so I thought, it was really fascinating just to see those numbers comparison to Bradshaw. Taking nothing away from Bradshaw, but should he be as highly ranked now that we see the ranking?
He went to the Super Bowl, but Joe Montana ended up beating
him. Right, okay. So that's a tough one to only because Ken Anderson is on the retired committee guide that they presented, and he didn't make it. So that shows you how much they value, championships. Yeah. I think Ken Anderson, statistically, it's not even a comparison.
Yeah, it's when you go per game basis and all that stuff and look at it.
So I would love to hear the callers call in if you have a player that you think should be, let's just say, top 10 to 20 guys that's not being mentioned in that regard, whether they have championships or not. I'd love to, hear you guys' favorite, quarterback of all time and get your voice. 737-1045, The Zone. I don't understand why this is orange.
I know this is the first. This is other Zach. This is Kroll.
See, it's a Zach. Did you do something to the computer?
It's got a
system?
check mark on it. It's orange.
That you did that?
Listen.
Wait, somebody's not talking.
Yeah. Come on, someone's gonna have to step up and talk. Do we know what the orange
why
is?
It is orange.
I guess it was a rookie mistake. I just clicked the check button, assuming that meant okay, he's good. But hopefully the whole thing doesn't explode.
I love how you're just so natural with the flow that I didn't make a mistake, but I did because it was orange.
Yeah. I do love that he's capital and lowercase.
Yeah.
These other guys, they all just do all caps. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's very proper on his text.
See, Ross.
All right, let's see if we can pick up this phone call. Let's go to Rich, who wants to talk about the Tennessee Titans. Rich, you're on Blaine and Zach.
Richie Rich. Why can't I hear?
Rich?
I can't hear.
Well, he's not talking.
I thought it was my headphones. I couldn't hear.
Rich is not talking, so we're going to call back Rich when you get a chance. I can hear the wind blowing.
That is not. Oh, that was not Zach.
That was not Zach's fault.
Yeah, Zach behind the glass, it looked like he was just scared, like he was at a horror movie or something. His eyeball was like, hey, I didn't do that.
So we'll get Rich back on the line whenever, if he wants to call back in and answer the phone call. We got other callers calling in. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're talking about the quarterback class. We'll also talk about Tennessee Titans as well. Mm-hmm. And Blaine,
the callers. I'm sorry. Somebody's on the chat. We can kind of look at the chat. I think I asked you in the green room there about Randall Cunningham,
39.
Mike Vick, Steve McNair, Warren Moon. Guys are kind of affiliated, but yet kind of different style running backs. Quarterbacks that kind of don't get their just due because they were kind of more runners. I said Mike Vick may be one of the fastest quarterbacks I ever seen. I didn't play against Randall Cunningham naturally, so people quit making jokes about that. But I watched him, and he was a fascinating quarterback. Not only was he a runner, but he was a thrower. I did watch him a lot because I grew up a Cowboys fan, so Cowboys versus the Eagles was really big. So Randall Cunningham was big on it. I didn't even know he went to UNLV at that time.
So we got Randall Cunningham at 39. Of course, Warren Moon was at 21, McNair was at 45, and Vic was at 52.
Yeah, we got McNabb, Stafford, Tannehill was 99, kind of revisiting a little bit for those who weren't listening.
Yeah, 42 for McNabb, right above Cam Newton, who was 43.
Yeah, man.
It's a good list of quarterbacks, that's for sure. Let's go to Charlie, who wants to talk about Terry Bradshaw here. Charlie, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Give us a perspective there, Charlie.
Well, I think in the Terry Bradshaw situation, I remember they're all in the same division, so Terry Bradshaw went up against Kenny Anderson a lot, or at the end of Kenny Anderson's career, but it's a whole different ball game back then when they were beating up on receivers and the game was totally different. So if you're winning the championships, I think you need to get the nod, and Bengals really didn't win a whole lot.
They did not.
The 2 Super Bowls, they got beat, So he brings them through and wins, and he's the most valuable player in a couple of those Super Bowls. So I think he deserves what he gets. And
question.
He's my favorite quarterback of all time.
Yeah. One question, though. I love Terry Bradshaw. Great guy. He deserves everything he gets. Do you think Ken Anderson, if you had put him on the Steelers, do you think he could have accomplished more or less with that talent around Terry Bradshaw?
I give him a credit. He might have accomplished more because he was a really good quarterback.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think he had the, as far as a passer and being a quarterback, he was probably better quarterback technically. You know what I mean? That's the thing I would look at.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I'd give Kenny Anderson all his props too. He's good.
Yeah. No doubt. Because he was on a team that wasn't very, I mean, they were just okay. I mean, so I'm not saying a lot of people could have done what Terry Bradshaw, by the way. But that doesn't, when you're an elite thrower, but yet you're kind of playing with a team that, you just don't have a lot, around you to help you. That's a tough call.
It is.
Like, let's imagine, nothing against the guys that are with the Titans, but put it in today's world. Cam Ward playing with the talent he had at receiver this past season, and then compared to what's a team that has a whole bunch of good receivers, A.J. Brown and crew.
Yeah.
Right. See, that's different now. What Hurts is playing in.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It really is.
With Smith, A.J. Brown.
You can even look at another rookie like Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart probably had a better supporting cast when Malik Neighbors was healthy than Cam Ward ever had throughout his year.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that if you put Cam Ward up in New York, and you know that New York wanted Cam Ward because they were trying to trade up, but you put him up in New York, he's probably offensive rookie of the year right now.
Oh, good job right there. You just made me think of the first question someone should ask him. How much did you, Dayball, that is for tomorrow's presser, is how much did you want Cam Ward when you there with the New York Giants?
Yeah. And I have a question for Gus Bradley, if someone would ask him that's in the earshot of my voice, is that, here's how I would frame it. A lot of people are really gung-ho on saying that your all scheme has a certain physical type, using Tavondre Sweat as an example. Okay. When you have and inherit a player of that kind of outlier size to what you normally work with, how do you work within your scheme and work with that player? Mm-hmm. And ask Gus Bradley that.
Yeah.
Because I would be very interested to see what they say about Tavondre Sweat and what they're able to do with him. Because I know a lot of fans want to give up on him.
Well, I think that's a good conversation piece, but I think, Sweat, he's not part of the group that those big guys that have played in that position before, because he's much more athletic than those guys. Yeah. Those guys were slugs and run stoppers. He can be more than that. And we just haven't had a chance to see it yet. He got injured all last year. He was healthy enough. Here's why I say that. Y'all just go back and go Sweat and what was it, the interception of fumble recovery? Watch that big old son of a gun run.
You go watch his college tape where he's going from sideline to sideline almost.
I'm like, hey, man, this guy's a little bit different. He can be Ross, Zach, and Blaine probably in the 40. Right now, today. I don't know. Maybe be close, man. I don't know.
I've run a little
guy was chuck-a-lugging, man. Yeah. He was moving.
He's a basketball player. That's what he grew up playing. And when you're a basketball player, you're an athlete typically.
Ew, man. High-level athlete, too, man.
Yeah.
So hey, man, don't judge a book by its cover, man. I told my wife, you can't beat him in no 40. She said, yes, I can. I said, no, you can't.
I
said, you can run a 5-flat 40.
Well, let me tell you this. I know at least, what was that big old boy that played left tackle for the Texans that looked like he was smuggling tires under his jersey? Oh man, what was that big old guy's name because we both thought that he was just so big. I could beat him in a 40. I don't think I could beat Sweat in a 40.
Yeah. I tell you one thing, the first thing that was fascinating to me when I got into the National Football League, it wasn't the receivers and how fast they were and all that. It was the offense and defensive linemen, how athletic they were. I had never seen that many big men move as agile and run like that. I mean, you would see guys hurdle guys in a short window and just do some things. You just go, wow, a human being that big is not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It was, and that is, naturally just think how the game has evolved to the better athletes now. And that's still fascinating to me, what they do outside of the skilled guy positions. It's really, it's kind of, man, it's phenomenal.
By the way, Trent Brown was who I was thinking
Trent
of.
Brown.
He just looked like he's smuggling like a semi-tires underneath him.
He was humongous.
It was
He would have just smothered me. I'm like on a blitz or something. Man.
well, and again, I go back to Tavondre Sweat. Think about how quick he landed on Shadur Sanders at that speed, at that size, and it's Shadur Sanders size. And I'm thinking, man, they're going to, like, when they pull him up, there's going to be a Shadur Sanders sized hole like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like Wile E. Coyote in there.
I was stunned. Shadur got up. I mean, quickly, too.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man, he tried to drive you through that ground.
I guess he's probably used to from all the times he took sacks in college and all those. Because that offensive line was not friendly to Shadur Sanders in college. So he may be used to it. Maybe not to Shadur Sanders size or Sweat size. But
So hopefully with Big Sweat, going back to that, working out with Big Jeff, maybe he can get to that level of production. Not just, talent evaluation and him not reaching that talent, but does that take him to the next level, coming in maybe a little slimmer, a little meaner, and a little savvier with the way the NFL game is, and then how to manage that throughout a season to stay healthy. So that's part of the battle. So you learn things like I did and everybody else did. If you want to be, the best version of yourself and be great, that's what you got to do. So we'll see where he goes after this year with working out with Big J.
Man, I'm excited to see because I'm me, and I know you are too. But we're a big Tavondre Sweat,
I think
truther show. Like a lot of people were not really thrilled with that Tavondre Sweat pick, but I was all for it because I thought Tavondre Sweat was a lot better than what people wanted to give him credit for.
But I'm like them though. I want to see more production.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And this last season, he kind of went back to what people thought he was going to be like, in and out of the lineup, hurt here, there. I'm like, dang, man. I mean, I didn't feel like he got into a groove towards the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. And he was wrecking shop. I mean, when him and Big Jeff were on the field together, that was when the defense was at its best. When one of them had to leave the field, you could see the drop off from a little bit of the pressure. You get me excited
right now. I'm like, okay, Warner Femi develops, and then who you draft?
Maybe Ruben Bain or David Bailey, or those two guys would be pretty fun to pair up with those guys.
I don't know.
Or Reese.
I mean, I
and then you sign a guy like Kwity Paye, which we'll talk about a little bit later
from
the Colts, who played for Gus Bradley when he was defensive coordinator.
There you go.
Just saying, a little bit of experience in a 4-3 with Gus Bradley in this particular 4-3. Just saying, rotational guy.
I think I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I think we're getting somewhere here.
So did he have production? How much production did he have?
Not a lot of production. I mean, he's basically would be like an Arden Key kind of guy.
Okay, that's where we
Or a Jihad Ward, maybe a younger version of Jihad Ward.
So
maybe with some upside. Yeah, because I mean,
he was a rotational guy.
He wrote a little bit of rotational guy. But I mean, he's a starter, but I mean, his stats would read run stopper, run defender / rotational edge player.
So how much would you pay? Because that's probably more realistic. They can get him as a rotational guy because his numbers weren't elite as far as sack numbers, even though he was a starter. So I don't know all the numbers for as far as what those going rate guys. But if you gave him, I don't know, is it 7, 8? He probably would be open to being a rotational guy. But you're selling him, hey, you're gonna be our starter. But
even if it's a 1-year deal, he gets a little bit of mercenary. He gets to play with Big Jeff, right? Like that should be able to boost your stock a little bit. I know he got to play with DeForest Buckner. But I feel like right now, in these last few years, Big Jeff is better than Buckner as a running mate if you're an edge defender.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about all that. We'll also get to all your phone calls. We're going to get to Corey, Scott, Root, and whoever's calling in next. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Well, February is here and upon us, right? and you had your New Year's resolution and you still haven't accomplished it. And neither have I. I have not been consistent going to the gym trying to get some of these LBs off. But if you need some help, the approach to weight loss at Edge Peptide and Hormone Therapy is a little bit different. They make sure all the patients have extensive lab work and face-to-face conversations in office with our nurse practitioner to create a customized treatment plan tailored to your specific needs. They use only U.S.-based FDA-audited compounding pharmacies because knowing where your peptides come from always matters. And the Edge walks you through this process, guiding your treatment plan, answering your questions, and supporting you along the way. And we all need support, of course. You can also get to enjoy access to their in-body scanner to track weight loss and make sure you're maintaining that muscle mass and getting rid of all that excess weight, as well as you get to lower your A1C, keeping your cravings in check, prioritizing protein, and having someone guide your journey from start to finish. So call the team at Edge Peptide for all your wellness questions at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878, or you can check them out online at edgepeptide.com.
Cover two, With Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've been talking about the top 100 or top 99 quarterbacks. Mr. 100 got left out, Blaine Bishop.
Who would be your 100?
Oh, man, I'd have to go through and look at the whole list.
I definitely don't know who the whole list is.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to go back and look through the whole list. I wonder where Phillip Rivers landed on that list. I didn't even think about
in
him.
the top 100.
Gotta be, right?
He's in the Hall of Fame. He can't be.
You would assume.
Oh, so you're a hater of Phillip Rivers?
No, I mean, I'm saying I just didn't remember seeing him scrolling through the list.
Oh, what?
But I mean, I was scrolling through pretty
Fast.
quick, so.
Oh, he has to be. He was. Yeah, he would have been up this year if he didn't come back. So I think he's in the conversation for sure. I think he's Hall of Fame. But I know he didn't win championship, didn't do well in playoffs. Their team didn't. So
Just real quick, we were talking about Quiddy Pay and the market value, and Spotrac. I can't get a grip on where they get some of their numbers right now. And I know they use a lot of data and they kind of show their process. They're saying that he's going to get paid. His market value is $17.9 million per year. Just think about that real quick if you're out there listening to it. Quiddy Pay could get paid more per year than the reigning Super Bowl MVP if he hits the market. Kenneth Walker. And I will tell you this, Kenneth Walker is a better player.
But you can't say that.
I know.
Here's why.
I get because it's a running back versus...
It's position.
But
and that shows
man,
you where the priority is.
It's like overpaying for Dan Moore. Like, I mean...
Because he's a tackle.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but that's how you know.
It's
when
just
you start
crazy.
saying, oh, Caleb Downs is way better than the best, whatever defensive pass rusher. I don't know. But the positions are valued. It's like, would you draft a fullback?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
But
don't
he's
ask
the
me that. I
best
may have
fullback.
drafted Scott Matlock from the Chargers.
Hey, man, there's some great ones out there.
Yeah.
I don't. Is there even a fullback in the Hall of Fame?
There has to be somewhere, right?
I don't
Did
think it's
Allstock not get in the Hall of Fame just a few years ago?
No, he's not in.
Man, that's crazy.
Because he's not considered a fullback. I don't think.
Oh, is he not?
I don't know.
Oh man,
Maybe
I guess
I'm wrong with that. I could be wrong, but I don't recall any fullback, at least of the modern last 30 years, that I could recall that made the Hall of Fame. Reason why I say that is because Lorenzo Neal, who I played with, was an actual true fullback, and we could say he's more blocking fullback.
Yeah,
he is the best blocking fullback probably in NFL history. So, and
Mike Allstott, considered a fullback, not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
6 times Pro Bowler, a 1-time Super Bowl champ, 3 times All-Proler, and has an all-time aesthetics look.
But how many yards did he have?
He
Rushing.
had, as a fullback, 5,088 yards and 58 touchdowns.
Yeah. Because that means he was not blocking. He was a one-man. They used to do a one-back set where he was the main guy getting the ball.
He has 7,372 scrimmage yards and 71 touchdowns from scrimmage.
Just imagine, they used to have Lorenzo Neal and him in the backfield, and Lorenzo was the blocker, and Allstott was the running back. I mean, that's bang, bang, just a headache right there.
And Lorenzo Neal, obviously not in the Hall of Fame. Now, he's on the Hall of Fame all 2000s team.
Yeah, he may be the first ever do it, and well-deserved. That dude was the best blocking fullback of all time in my eyes, at least to any time I've watched. There were some other really good ones, but as far as blocking, but you could say some better complete running backs, fullbacks, that may be some, but most of those guys that catch, let's just say, let's use check.
Yeah.
But do you fear him blocking? No.
Nah, not really.
Catching,
but
absolutely.
And
they
use him
like a tight end H guy. See, so he's multi-tooled. Yeah, so
not a lot of guys that you put the fear of God in you, like Neal, Allstott, those guys.
Yeah, to see now you get to where it's at.
It's because
and
no one wears Navy.
For 2, you're like, hey man, I got a double strap, double pad up today.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a long day.
Oof. All right, let's go to Corey. Corey, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Gentlemen, I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to get on this discussion about the top 99 quarterbacks list. I was curious, when you were talking about Terry Bradshaw, it had me thinking, like, what does the list look like as far as, like, how many quarterbacks are up there that like, I'm trying to word it the way I want to. Like, when you're looking at the list, like, where does it land as far as quarterbacks that have championships versus, like, stats? Because I think of a lot of quarterbacks like Matthew Stafford. He played on some terrible Lions teams, and he had a lot of, like, garbage time stats. So I was just curious, like, on that list, where do you see, quarterbacks with championships? Like, how far back do they go? Are there guys like Vinny Testaverde on there?
Great.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, Chris Chandler. And then the other question that I had separately for you, Blaine, and this is just kind of like off topic, but looking at your career, 10 seasons in the NFL, is there a turnover that you caused, like either an interception that you had or a forced fumble that stands out to you?
Not really.
Vinny Testaverde did make it on the list. He's 73.
Yeah, Vinny Testaverde, man, he was a phenomenal athlete.
Ryan Fitzpatrick did not make the list. That's the top 100 or top 99.
What was his numbers?
I don't know.
He threw for a lot of teams, and I don't know where his yard, but Vinny Testaverde could throw the ball. Now,
let me tell you something. For 4 games, Ryan Fitzpatrick was one of the best quarterbacks you could ever have in fantasy. Like, when you knew that he was going in to a game, like as a backup or anything, and you had him on your fantasy team, you knew you had him for 4 weeks, and then after that, he turned into an interception machine. But 4 weeks is good. Vinny Testaverde, 73. Philip Rivers was 32. Lamar Jackson, higher than Philip Rivers. What do you think about that?
Lamar Jackson has MVPs. Philip Rivers has none. Okay.
And they got the same amount of Super Bowl championships and appearance.
Yeah, so I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. I don't know. Did you... I forgot how you asked the question about the stats with quarterbacks with rings and not.
I think most of the people with rings would be higher
elevated
up
a little bit.
because they also, if you have rings, you typically have the stats to go with it. And a lot of these quarterbacks played a little bit longer than maybe some other quarterbacks that played. Kirk Cousins came in at 71. I just scrolled through right there and saw him. So, I mean, a lot of the guys that are at the top have both the stats and the championships. Dan Marino would probably be the one guy in that top 10 that has the stats but no championships.
And he was that heck of a threat. Yeah. And that's why. Like, I think Dan Fouts, where was he on the list? He's old school, way before our time, but he threw for a lot of yardage. He was part of that system and threw the ball a lot there with Kellen Winslow.
23.
Okay, yeah. Kellen Winslow, Wes Chandler, and Charlie Joyner were the receivers I remember watching when I was a kid. They threw the ball a lot.
Yep.
They had, what was that running back's name? It had number 46. I want to say Chuck Muncie. But, so there's some great quarterback. Hey, he brought up Chris Chandler. Where was Chris Chandler on that list? Chris Chandler could throw the ball.
That's the other one that he brought. Chandler's not on the list, so maybe he's number 100.
Dang.
But they only do the top 90.
Matty Ice?
Matt Ryan is on the list.
Is he in the top 30?
Matt Ryan is 41. Eli Manning made it at 23 or 24. Ben Roethlisberger was at 16. Just because all those guys were kind of around each other. Oh, where's elite Joe Flacco?
But didn't Matty Ice
Joe Flacco, 53.
Joe Flacco. Matty Ice won MVP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No championships. Eli has 2.
Yep.
Okay. See, they value the championship when you're a quarterback.
Unless you're Joe Flacco, who got put all the way down at 53, even though he has the Super Bowl MVP.
I think Joe Flacco's having an argument here. Where is his yardage rank amongst NFL all time?
Oh, we'll have to look it up.
Because he's played so long, he has to be up there. He's a big arm quarterback. Yep. He threw the ball deep. I should ask Derek Mason about that.
All right, coming up next, we'll go to Scott Larissa. We'll continue talking to the Tennessee Titans, and I'll answer your question about Joe Flacco. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Number
Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. In NFL news, it is being reported by Adam Schefter and others that the Seahawks are likely not going to put the franchise tag on Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker, which would make him available in a couple of weeks when free agency begins. Last night in a top 5 college hoops showdown, top 6 showdown, number 6 Iowa State held on at home over number 2 Houston 70-67. Also tonight, number 1 Michigan heads to West Lafayette to face off against number 7 Purdue in a top 10 matchup with tip-off at 5:30. Vanderbilt and Tennessee are both back on the hardwood tomorrow night. Tennessee hosts Oklahoma in Knoxville at 6 p.m. and Vanderbilt heads to Columbia to take on the Missouri Tigers at 8 p.m. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans of Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Before the break, we were talking about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is number 14 all-time in passing yards. Really, he could probably get up to 12 if he maybe finds a couple starting paths and games and stuff like that. But 14 all-time. But way down the list.
But he's where's he at on the quarterback list though?
He was on that quarterback list, I believe, 53.
Because he's got one Super Bowl.
53,
right?
yeah, one Super Bowl MVP. Should be a little bit higher.
I would concur with that.
I know that Matt Ryan is at number 9 all time passing yards, and Phillip Rivers is number 8. He ain't gonna be able to catch those guys. But he does have something they don't have, and that's championship ring. Just want to throw that out there.
I wonder if that's why he's still playing.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. God just loves ball, I guess. Let's go to Larissa. Larissa, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Flutie.
Hi, you guys. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
But I kind of came in midway through what you guys were talking about. And I'm going to go kind of way back. Like, my grandpops was a huge Colts fan and loves Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, we were just talking about that during the break.
I know, and that's also great. There's some old school players, and I would love to know, how do you guys would think, like, the OGs back then, that timeline, would compare to how the guys are now, because they would have those big smiles and maybe 1 to 3 teeth in their mouth. I don't know, dental insurance was not part of the health insurance back then, but I would love to hear that. But yeah, that's, again, I'm going way back. But I'm going to hang up and listen. Great show, always.
I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were just discussing it. Like, man, because they didn't throw the ball as much, so his numbers probably aren't as high, but he played in how many Super Bowls?
25 all-time passing yards list right now.
And he was in what, Super Bowl 1 or 3 or something? It was, I don't know the history. I just kind of read and used to read books when I was growing up as a kid. So I'm trying to recall. Man, I thought he was in Super Bowl 3. Maybe I was wrong. But the Baltimore Colts, because that's when I started reading up. When the Colts moved to Indianapolis, I was going to try to read up on the Colts' history there.
It looks like if he was Super Bowl 5 is the one he won.
But what was his passing yardage? Not over a career.
So he had. Let me get back to it real quick. Where's it at?
So it's kind of different. They kind of get lost in the shuffle because it was a different game.
40,239 yards. So he's 25th all time.
Oh, that's not.
So, like Patrick Mahomes is in the 30s, Jared Goff is at 27. They'll likely pass him.
Gotcha.
By the time it's all said and done, Kirk Cousins is at 19 all time on that list.
Kirk Cousins will be a fascinating one when it comes to, is he a Hall of Fame player? Man, that one is going to be a tricky one.
I would say no, but I do think they should put him in the Hall of Fame alone for the franchise tags and what he did to get these young quarterbacks paid for the future. Like all time, like that is kind of a pivot point for these quarterback contracts. Him doing the franchise tag. Him accepting the fully guaranteed money of the franchise tag and all that kind of stuff, not really putting up much of a fight that all those guys did. Then he got paid over at Washington, over at Minnesota, then gets paid a lot more money over at Atlanta. But like those franchise tags kind of kick-started paying quarterbacks a little bit more and more.
that was the guy I was talking about that, even though he wasn't in the draft in 2020, was Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't have paid him if I'm the Falcons because he coming off an Achilles injury.
Right.
And your lower body is part of your arm. In my mind, I was like, this typically doesn't happen. As much as I think he's a really good quarterback, I just don't know if he's Hall of Fame type quarterback.
He'll have the stats for sure
Yeah, but he doesn't have any rings.
No rings.
He's never played in the Super Bowl.
Nope. He's kind of been a known choker in primetime games and all that kind of stuff.
Situations.
Yep.
And I don't think he was revered in the league.
Yeah.
Like amongst the other great in his era and the people who are covering those teams. That one will be a really good one. It's going to test the waters. Not to say he won't be in contention, but to get in,
kind of like a Kerry Collins kind of guy.
Yeah,
I mean, better stats, obviously.
I think better than Collins.
But like, I mean, that type of guy that kind of floated from team to team towards the end of the career can win you games and put up numbers, but like, never considered the best in any given season at his position. That's kind of what. Maybe a little bit like new Andy Dalton.
How many Pro Bowls did he go to?
Kirk Cousins?
And what was some of his achievements as a player outside of yardage?
4 Pro Bowls and a most important player of Pro Football Writers of America, MIP. Never heard of that one. It's the most important player.
Was he on any decade team or anything? See, I just don't. Man, that one there, man, he... solid, but
I would say there would be they're in such a log jam probably at the Hall of Fame. I would say that he's probably never getting in. Yeah, and I think that would be the right move, to be honest with you. As much as I do respect Kirk Cousins' 5th round pick and everything he's been able to accomplish, I just don't think he's Super Bowl Hall of Fame.
What about comparing him to Phillip Rivers? If you're sitting in his chair.
I would be like, in his chair, if I'm Kirk Cousins comparing myself to Phillip Rivers, I'd say I've done just as much as he has.
Right, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And Phillip Rivers is probably going to get in.
Oof.
See that? So that's what
I don't know if I necessarily agree with Phillip Rivers getting in.
I think eventually he will.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's the first ballot and all, no, but he will eventually get in. I would believe so.
Yeah.
That's why I say he probably is on that same tier as Phillip, but I just don't think he was revered like that.
No.
I don't know why I think that way, because I like him.
Yeah. I get that because I feel like everybody just loves Phillip Rivers, like they and all that stuff. And when you kind of look at him and compare them, I'm sure Phillip Rivers probably has more Pro Bowls or whatever than him. But neither of them have ever been considered, Kirk Cousins or Phillip Rivers, as the best quarterback in their era or anything, or even in a given season. 8 Pro Bowls for Phillip Rivers and a comeback player of the year.
He lost his opportunity. They played at New England in the playoffs, and that's when him and LT was at the height. That's LaDainian Tomlinson, and he was the first ballot guy, running back, well-deserved. And they stunk it up. Now, he was playing with no ACL. He had tore his ACL and still playing the game.
He's tough. No doubt about it.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Do we have any stories with Kirk Cousins like that? Granted, stories don't matter, but
you got you like that story, where he's coming off the field and he goes, "You like that?"
Yeah, but that's
and then
not
Kirk O'Chains. Yeah, but that's not playing, right? Like you're 100%.
Was funny.
Yeah. Let's go to Ken in Nashville. Ken, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Great.
Pretty good. Appreciate y'all. You guys are awesome. And Blaine, pound for pound, inch for inch, you were one of the best players that ever played the game.
No, man, I don't know about that one. I appreciate it, though. I don't know. I can think
telling
only
you,
one
man,
other safety
I
that was
watched
pound for
football
pound,
for
probably as good
50
as me.
years.
That's Bob Sanders.
I watched football for 50 years, man, and you were one of the best, I think. But listen, I just wanted to ask you all, what about Tom Rathman or John Riggins? Y'all talking about those? I'm not even sure John Riggins.
That's a good one. Riggins, is he in the Hall of Fame?
Riggins, I believe he is.
Yes,
well,
he
neither
is.
of them made the top 99, so maybe they were number 100, one of those guys.
No. Oh, no, that was
they're-
just quarterbacks, wasn't it?
They're running backs.
Oh,
Running back. John Riggins was running back.
am I thinking Friday? I'm thinking Friday Night Lights.
Oh, yeah, John Riggins. But John Riggins is kind of like Allscott, even though he's in. He played more. He got the ball. He wasn't blocking.
I think
John
we've
Riggins
talked
ran the
about
ball.
let
That
me-
was when they
let me
had
check
the
those. John Riggins is in the Hall of Fame, but he's
Yeah.
considered a running back.
Yes, that was what they called the offensive linemen, the Hogs. The Hogs.
Yeah.
3 years in a row, they was. Ooh,
Tom Rathman, not in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, he was.
And he's considered a fullback.
Yes, he is. He was with the 49ers majority of his career. That was the West Coast because he could catch. So he blocked, but he was also going out running routes and catching the ball in that West Coast offense, sharp pass game. So Rathman, yeah, he was. That's why I say, when I keep saying Lorenzo Neal, and I know there's some arguments, I'm not talking about all around running back. I said blocking fullback. He was feared. You got to go look him up. He was still playing like 16.
I think he was 17 seasons or something.
It was. I laughed at him. I was covering the game. I said, "How the heck are you doing this?" He just started laughing. He was with the Ravens. I was like, "What the heck
The
are you
Ravens
doing?"
in 2008, by the way.
I was like, "What are you doing?" He just starts laughing on the field. We're on the field in the end zone,
16 seasons.
blocking, like
Yeah.
running into people. Oh man, he's a different cat, man. There's not too many like him. Not too many like. Oh, that's a good one. Jeff George, my hometown guy from Indianapolis.
Listen, he had more Lorenzo Neal had more receiving touchdowns than he did rushing touchdowns.
He never ran the ball. And guess what? You go watch him. He didn't even care about scoring. Watch him help up how many 1,000-yard rushers he helped up off the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a lot of them.
Let's go to Dan in Lewisburg. Dan, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Oh, Jeff George.
How y'all doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good.
Doing good. Hey, I'm going to go back in time on you a little bit here before y'all's time and pull a name out of the air. He was before Joe Montana's time in San Francisco, and that was John Brody.
I don't know.
I think John Brody is not in the Hall of Fame, and he threw for over 31,000 yards in a 17-year career.
Wow.
And I think he threw about as many touchdowns as he did interceptions, and he did. I think he won one MVP in 1970.
Okay.
He is correct on that. Dan bringing the facts here.
Okay, he is in the Hall of Fame, he said?
No, he's not in the Hall of Fame.
So those numbers sound pretty good. It goes way back.
And then he did go to Stanford, where he's in their Hall of Fame.
He is. Okay. Oh, well, and I think that's where it starts.
So,
all right, appreciate it.
No problem. John Brody, two-time Pro Bowler, one-time All-Pro, 1970 MVP, like he said, with 31,548 yards, 214 touchdowns, 224 interceptions. 74 wins, 76 losses, 8 ties. So a little bit underneath there. Let's go to Scott real quick before we head over to Coach Mack. Scott, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Oh, I'm at home.
Hey, guys, real quick, because he had I think he had some really good receivers, Blitnikoff and Branch. How about Kenny Stabler?
Kenny Stabler.
Yep, Kenny
Lefty.
Stabler. I believe he was on the list, if I'm not mistaken.
Former Raider and Oiler, right?
Number 30, Ken Stabler is.
Okay, so he's on there.
He's up there.
All right, where's my guy, Jeff George?
He did not make the
He
list.
didn't make the list at all, 99.
No.
What's his
Maybe
number?
he was 100.
What was his numbers? Because he ended up throwing, his talent at throwing the football was exceptional.
He was, his 12-year career, 27,602 yards. Mm-hmm. He had 154 touchdowns to 113 interceptions. 57.9% completion percentage, which was kind of the norm back then. I'm beginning to see that they didn't have a really high completion percentage.
Okay.
He had 8 fourth quarter comebacks, 17 game winning drives, and he had a All Pro. No, he had no All Pros or Pro Bowls. That's crazy. He didn't even get a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, because he got drafted. He was from Indy, and he got drafted by the Colts with the number 1 overall pick. And so I don't know if he was ever on some really good teams. I know he was with the Falcons when they kind of ran a little bit still the run and shoot.
He led the league in sacks twice, 58 and 56 in a season. And then he did lead the league in 1997 in passing yards, 3,917 that year. So there you go. All right, and we come back. We'll talk to Coach Mack of Titans Radio, brought to you by Tours Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
The Moose.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door, and broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Down. And you heard the music. It's a Tuesday. That means time for our weekly Mac Attack with Coach Mac, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. And Coach Mac, I kind of got a random question to throw at you. But it's a question that I thought about last week right after you got off the phone with us. But when we talk about developing skill sets and players, specifically at the linebacker position, how do you, as a coach, help develop coverage skills for a linebacker? Because I always found that so interesting on how you develop a particular skill set with someone or with a player or a prospect at that position.
Well, there's two skill sets involved in coverage at the linebacker position. The first is depending on how much zone you play, and then the zone scheme that you play. I mean, you have to understand how you fit with everybody else. That's number one. Are you playing a spot drop zone? Or are you playing a matchup zone? Are you playing a zone as to where you pass people off? A lot of that depends on the type of scheme that you are playing. If you're going to develop, there's all different types of zone schemes, and so within all of those zone schemes, I mean, you have to learn how to slot drop. If you're going to be playing a lot of quarters coverage, you're going to have to learn how to play match zone. If you're playing a lot of 3 deep, you're going to have to learn how to play a lot of hug, what we call hug coverage. If you're going to play man to man, and there's different techniques involved in every one of those. So it's not just one size fits all. First of all, it has to fit what you're doing scheme wise. And the other thing is then you go to the man to man stuff, and the man to man stuff you need to work on. Are you going to be primarily asking to cover the back man-to-man? There's a difference in covering backs man-to-man out of the backfield than there is covering tight ends off of the line of scrimmage. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just one size fits all for coverage for backers.
When it comes to the draft, we were having a discussion yesterday about, how it feels like right now, Caleb Downs, who plays safety, Jeremiah Love, who plays running back, and Sonny Styles, who plays linebacker, feel like they are the 3 best players in this draft. But when you get to 4, the Tennessee Titans may not need to spend a pick on a running back, a linebacker, or a safety. So they would technically be passing on best player available. And I know we're a ways away, but just in general, how much of a tiebreaker is need in those situations and those discussions when you're a team that kind of wants to be best player available, but those 3 guys don't really fit positions of need, and in the league, they're not really positions of value.
Yeah, well, you got to match. You got to match. Every draft is different because you got to match it with what with what you need. I mean, you can't just randomly pick best player and get overloaded at one position. But the thing you have to do is you have to weigh the fact of how much you're taking production, or how much you're going to take potential over what you see from a player right now. And a lot of it, all of it, not a lot of it, all of it depends on the makeup of your squad. It really does, because it's different. That's why the draft, people can put out all these lists if they want to, but until you're on draft day, you really don't know what other teams have in mind until they make the pick. And that's one of those things, just like you're talking about. What do they value? What do they value? How are they trying to build a roster, not only for this year, but for years to come?
We're on the phone with Coach Mac for his weekly Mac Attack, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Well, Coach, naturally, the top 100 or 99 list of quarterbacks in the NFL of all time came out. And I don't want you to name any of those guys, but I want you to tell me a quarterback that maybe for a 2 or 3 year window, not valued as a Hall of Fame player or anything like that, but man, was he a great quarterback? who would you name, or give me a couple guys you named that maybe you faced or saw, through your coaching, throughout your long career in the NFL? Name us a couple quarterbacks you say, hey, man, that we may have forgot about that, was really good during their time, at least for a brief moment.
Well, I thought one of the most accomplished quarterbacks that I ever tried to defend was Montana, clearly. I mean, because of the system and because of how proficient, he was as making that thing work, and which became a revolutionary type of an offense. He was really hard because he was very rarely wrong. And anytime you're playing a quarterback that's very rarely wrong, it really puts a strain on you calling defenses. I mean, it really was. And there's been a lot of good ones, and some of them.
I'm talking about like Jake Plummer, guys that are not in that kind of conversation, but yet were really good players.
Yeah, well, Jake's one of them. I mean, he was a fierce competitor. I mean, he was one of them. Of course, he was my quarterback, so I had a very intimate knowledge of him. But anytime that especially early on, when you were playing a quarterback that had the possibility of being able to beat you with his arm, with his legs, and with his mind, those were the guys that gave you problems as a defensive signal caller.
Okay, debate me, Zach, and Ross, and the other Zach, of course. Tom Brady, yours truly, Joe Montana, as you mentioned, and Peyton Manning as the top 3 quarterbacks of all time. Do you have any debate if maybe somebody else should be in there?
Yeah, well, I mean, those guys were clearly, you talk about 3 guys that covered all the gamut of it. I mean, but they all are very, very smart. Peyton Manning's one of the smartest quarterbacks I ever went against in my life. Because really, I mean, of course, we played him twice a year because he was in the same division. And, well, I mean, we had one playbook for Peyton Manning. We had one playbook. I mean, we had one playbook that was Manning playbook that, I mean, we had to use wristbands, change wristbands every quarter as far as to make calls. I mean, there was a lot of things because Peyton Manning could unlock the puzzle really, really quick.
You got a question? Oh, I would, yeah.
Yeah, well, so you guys, for Peyton Manning,
every quarter, they have a different playbook.
That is kind of crazy. How difficult is that to game plan throughout the week and design all that and come up with that idea?
Well, we had it. I mean, it started with Jim Schwartz. I mean, it was his idea because he, we had an idea that they could, that was back before you had the helmet communications for defense. And so, they would take anything. I mean, and we'd have dummy signal callers on the sideline signaling it in, and we still would think that they could figure it out. So, during the week, we would have 4 different wristbands that we would change out by quarters, and then guys would just flash the signal to one another, without any verbal communication as far as the defense we were going to be in, because you couldn't afford to signal anything in from the sideline because you knew that they had scouted it and they were going to steal it.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, Coach Mack giving us the Mack attack. I guess one of the things, now we're getting ready for the combine and naturally free agents is here. Kind of describe the transition from coach to now inundated with film all over the place from your scouting department, and then kind of where are you at with the big board, or are you kind of slowly putting it together, those top elite players on the board?
Yeah, well, you work through it. I mean, it's still pretty much in it. But bearing in mind that scouting departments work a year ahead.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. So, I mean, they've already got a lot of stuff, in the books But what they're doing now is they're together for about 12 hours a day, you know, watching tape, comparing notes, trying to start to get guys lined up. You don't make the final alignment right now. You start to talk through it, work through it, study the tape together, because that's extremely, extremely important, so that everybody can look at it and can say, you know, this, I think this about this person, this about this person. We like these people right here. Now let's start putting them a little bit in order. Right now, it's still early to do that, because you still don't have the combine. That's that's one of the final pieces for it. It's not the only piece, but it's one of the final pieces for it. So it just takes time. I mean, it's very, very hour intensive.
Yeah. No doubt. I want you to give me, when Coach Mack giving us a Mac Attack, last question for me, and that is, give me a sleeper pick at these two positions, and that would be pass rusher edge. That means they could not be first-round guys. They didn't have to be. And wide receiver. Some guys that you kind of like, maybe you even saw them at the Senior Bowl or wherever, and you've been watching tape and say, hey, man, these guys are sleeper, even if they're mid-round picks. Wide receiver and pass rusher.
And not so much the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl this year was more of the belly of the draft.
Okay.
More the belly of the draft people. I'll tell you, numbers wise, there are edge rushers and there are receivers in this draft, and I think those are going to run through about the 4th or 5th round. You know, possibly. I mean, when you start looking at it, and as you start to line them up, really, there's different types of edge rushers that. It depends on what you're looking for your defense. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of the way that they're going to lean now, you know, with the new defense, as far as the type that they're going to get. And so until I know that, you know, it's hard to make any predictions. But I do know it's numbers wise, just pure numbers wise. There are receivers and there are edge rushers in this draft that can help us.
Coach, a position that hasn't gotten into the Hall of Fame yet that we can find is fullback. Do you think fullbacks need to be getting more love for the Hall of Fame, specifically like guys like Lorenzo Neal, Mike Allstott, Daryl Moose Johnston, a couple of guys, you know, just off the top, off the rip, Rathman, that haven't gotten in, and do you think that's an issue that fullback has been overlooked?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for fullbacks to get in there, and those things you just mentioned. I mean, I would have a hard time finding a more physical back than Neal.
Yeah. What about Matt Suhey?
Yeah, and Matt Suhey is a different type of fullback. He wasn't real big.
Yeah.
But here's what Matt Suhey could do, because he had Walter behind him. Matt Suhey was really great at being able to fit up on blockers, not devastating, knock them down, but he understood leverage, and he understood which way Walter wanted to go.
Yeah.
Matt Suhey is also a really good receiver. But he wasn't a devastating player. He was a real crafty player.
Yeah.
Give us Lorenzo Neal, you probably have played against him and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I know everybody has kind of gone up or coached against him and all that kind of stuff, and everybody's kind of gone up against Lorenzo Neal at some point in time. Talk about how he was at the fullback position compared to all the other guys.
Lorenzo Neal was a bull. I mean, he was a bull. I mean, Lorenzo Neal was like a Ford pickup truck. He could run into you all day and it wouldn't bother him.
There you go. All right, Coach Mack, on the phone for his weekly Mack Attack, brought to you by Tours Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Coach Mack, and I know Combine's coming up. That means a little trip to St. Elmo's, right?
Yeah, I've got reservations for the group. I mean, I'm doing something for the league this year, as far as interviewing prospective GM and head coach candidates. So I'm going to be locked up for about 4 days in a row. So I may have to give the Titans radio crew reservation for St. Elmo's, but they'll use it.
There you go. There you go. Now, can you expand on what you're doing at the combine? You're like, are you holding mock interviews for these people?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, great, Coach.
We'll have to find out more about that later on in the show. But, hey, we greatly appreciate Coach Mack. Enjoy Indy.
Appreciate you guys. See ya.
See ya.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, when we come back, we're going to go to Daniel in Murfreesboro and Ernie in Nashville. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop at Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. It's the last call for phone calls if you want to get in on the conversation. Let's go to Daniel in Murfreesboro. Daniel, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
How we doing, guys?
Going good. How are you?
Good. I had if you already talked about it, I'm sorry, but I was wondering where Warren Moon was on the list.
I think he was 21.
Hall of Famer in 2006, but
Is that right?
he was undrafted. Best player ever, undrafted.
Yeah, 21, I think.
Yeah, he was at number 21, Daniel, and the Tennessee Titans / Houston Oilers had 4 quarterbacks on the list.
Yeah.
They had Kerry Collins. Well, I'll put them in order. Ryan Tannehill at 99, then Kerry Collins, then Steve McNair at 45, then Warren Moon at 21.
Who played in Canada first for some years.
Yep. But those would be the 4.
Kim Stabler? He eventually was an Oiler, too. Was he?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was on there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Oh, I may be wrong.
No, he was.
I'm going to get some stuff wrong.
He was number 30.
Yeah. Kenny Stabler was eventually. He was a Raider initially.
Yep,
and then,
Houston Oilers. Yeah. There it is. So there you go. They got 5 on the list. Look at that. Maybe they have the most out of any team.
Ooh,
I
that'd
doubt
be
that.
a good quiz question there
I'll
for
have
Ross.
to check it. I'll have to check it.
Zach.
Or Kroll back there. Let's go to Ernie in Nashville. Ernie, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Hey,
good afternoon.
My question is also about Warren Moon. I've always watched him, from the very beginning, and they used to always say he had the best spin on the ball of all of them. But my question to you guys is basically, how would you compare him with the other quarterbacks that are what you call elite, and would the run and shoot work in today's football environment? So to speak. Now, that's what they played, the run and shoot. I don't know what it actually was.
Yeah, I think Warren Moon would thrive in today's NFL. And in fact, he would probably be giving everybody a run for their money as best quarterback in the league year in and year out.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if the run and shoot, I don't know much about the X's and O's and schematically how it would adapt, but I would assume there's some variation of the run and shoot kind of going on in the NFL right now. Maybe not by that name, but something like that.
Oh, yeah. Some of the versions of that is all across the league. So, yeah, I think Warren Moon would be up there. People must not forget he played for the Edmonton Eskimos, I think, for at least 6 years. It may be more than that. Before he even got a chance in the league, he played at Washington. The Dub is what they call it there at the University of Washington. So he got in the league. He didn't get a jump start. He won, I think, a couple Grey Cups there, which is their Super Bowl. I think a couple times for sure. So I think he would have been an elite. He did throw a great tight spiral all the time. When I was a rookie, I got to play with him. My only time getting to play with him my rookie season. So he was revered, threw the ball with a whistle and super sharp. But I think, there was version of that where you had to also protect the pass. You couldn't just have 5 offensive linemen blocking all the time and everybody out on route. So, yeah, everybody used some form or version of some of the concepts of the run and shoot. But you just can't run just the run and shoot. Could be like on third downs or when, passing downs, they use a lot of those concepts. But, yeah, I think he would be up there with the elite if he probably would have got 1 Super Bowl and would have played in the league for those 6 or whatever years. How many ever years he played over there in Canada?
Okay, hold on. I'm compiling the list right here of Titans, Oilers quarterbacks that are on this list.
Oh,
okay. So give me 1 second.
And Warren Moon may have been the leading pass yardage getter if he would have played all those seasons in the NFL and not the first 6 or 7 or whatever it was in Canada.
Titans Oilers have 9 quarterbacks on this list. They got Ryan Tannehill, Kerry Collins, Dave Krieg played for the Tennessee Titans. Craig. Matt Hasselbeck is on the list. Warren Moon, Steve McNair, Kenny Stabler, Archie Manning, and George Blanda. It's a couple Oilers right there.
So
there
how many yards did Warren Moon throw over in Canada? And would that total be the most in NFL history if he combined them? Granted, different league, of course, but that's how revered as a passer he was. He was, man.
Okay, so he had 21,228 yards.
In Canada?
In Canada.
For how many years?
He played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons.
6. Oh, so I was right on. Yeah.
And in the NFL statistics here, he had 49,325.
So I put him at 70,000. Maybe 71.
Hold on, I had plus 21, 22.
71? I'm messing you up.
Well, no, this is my calculator is crapping out.
Well, 49 plus 21.
Yeah. So 70,553.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
And who's
to the all-time? So that would put him at 5th all-time, behind Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady.
Hey, they put him at 5th.
They put him at 5th all-time, Warren Moon. So, yeah, I will say this.
But they did throw the ball a lot more in Canada, didn't they?
That is true. But I will say that Warren Moon, if he would be talked about, I believe, so differently if he didn't have the CFL, if he was all years in the NFL.
Yeah. He was a special thrower. That was for sure.
You were talking earlier about Vinny Testaverde and how interesting he was because he played for forever. And then he was also a spectacular athlete. Can you talk a little bit about Testaverde?
Yeah, Testaverde's kind of, you made me think of him based off the Joe Flacco conversation because I think they're kind of in that same boat. Like nobody reveres them, but they had a lot of success. He does not have a Super Bowl. I think I got a chance to get to play when he was at the Jets. Man, he was a really good athlete, but he had a big arm, man. And people forget, I think he went to the U as well. That was that era time when the U was just producing quarterbacks all over the place. I may be wrong on that, but check me on that. And, man, I think athletically he could run. He could throw the deep ball. He was accurate on intermediate. There was nothing that he wasn't, I would say, put him on the tier of really good at all of them. Just wasn't great at one thing. So I think he gets a little underrated, man. Like when you played him, you realize that he was man, you want to almost say he was an elite quarterback. I mean, man, it might have been, because that was my rookie year and I was just fascinated with just being there but at the time. But I mean, hey, man. I don't know where his numbers stack up. He doesn't have any MVPs, no Super Bowls or anything like that, man. But he went on for a long time. He was 40-something. How old was he when he finished? That's when you go that long like Flacco, you go, hey, man, we need to go back and kind of revisit. Like
44 years
old.
He was on an NFL team for 21 straight years.
And what year was his last year?
2007 with Carolina.
Man, when did he start?
He started in 1987 with Tampa Bay.
And I was in freaking sophomore in high school.
So he played there from 87 to 92. Then from 93 to 95, he played in Cleveland. From 96 to 97, Baltimore. From 98 all the way to 2003, it was the Jets. And then 2004, Dallas. 2005, back to the Jets. 2006, New England. And then 2007, Carolina.
Yeah, he was, yeah. You know what, baby? Also, I kind of remember, I ran into him at the airport probably about 5 years ago, and he looked like he could still go. And I asked him, I said, hey, man, you looking like you're in pretty good shape. He said, I think I could still throw it. He said, sling it. I think I could still sling it.
I bet he could.
Yeah, he looked like he could.
Yeah.
He just, he was, grayed up and everything.
Right.
But I was just like, hey, man, you look like you're in pretty good shape.
Joe Flacco's the next one. Like it's going to kind of be like that.
Man,
You're
really
kind of right because he's kind of been bouncing around lately and all that kind of
like
stuff.
You never thought like, he's just, won Super Bowl, big arm. It was more about the Ravens defense. It wasn't him. Man, to go this long, you got to be pretty dang on good. I'm going to say it like that.
Just real quick, the Tennessee Titans have signed 2 players.
Oh, what?
Ernest Brown, a defensive end that was they drafted out of Northwestern in 2021 that hasn't really done much. It's
What round was it? You don't remember?
5th round.
By
I do not remember who by, and I just shut my laptop.
Okay.
Ryan Hayes, a tackle from Michigan that was drafted in the 3rd round of the 2023, or the 7th round of the 2023 draft by the Miami Dolphins.
Okay. Cool.
So we got a tackle and a defensive end, developmental
Depth
players.
pieces.
Depth
Yeah,
pieces.
never know. Yeah.
There you
Never
go.
know.
3HL's up next. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime,
And in between time.
Peace.